Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. It's a really tricky space to read at the moment. We continue to have this massive inverse head and shoulders on the chart. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Remember down here we also had a small inverse head and shoulders which did break to the upside. We had here a left shoulder, a head and a small right shoulder that broke, reached target. So let's see if we can also push higher here. The overall target for this inverse or very large inverse head and shoulders, I think if I'm correct, it would take us to around $1,500. But to get there, yeah, it does. But to get there, we need to finally break above this resistance area, above the so-called neckline. We talk here about the 1305 level, yeah, 1305 roughly. To be very exact, it's 1308 to break the previous high. So there is some bullish potential still here in the chart, short-term bullish potential, but we also have two scenarios that point towards further downside. And the problem with this structure here is it leaves a few possibilities open. Yeah. So generally, ideally, what we're doing here, ideally we're pushing higher. That would fit best into the overall wave count, into the proportions of an ABC structure. Wave A up, wave B down, wave C to the upside, and wave C in 5 waves. However, as I explained to you in previous videos, we could have a top in place here. I warned you already when we reached that top that we could have a more substantial top in place that was related to the idea that we have a huge resistance area here, very strong, plus the view that we have 3 waves to the upside complete. We have enough waves to consider that we have not an ABC structure, but a WXY structure. And in a WXY, or you can even count it from here, WXY. In a WXY, we have done enough. We don't need to push any higher. We could, without a problem, break down from here. Yeah. So therefore, I become very careful here in this region. So where else? What are we doing? So the main chart, which is still sort of the count here that I showed you yesterday, that still shows a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down to around 1150. It would assume we are now in a 3rd wave. There will be a 4th and a 5th. So it just shows you the upside potential that there still is. However, I'm going to show you as well until which level can Ethereum go down and still have a good chance to rally in this impulse, because in the wave 3 in yellow, we are, based on this wave count, in this structure. 1 already done, wave 2 possibly unfolding now. There should be a 3, 4 and 5 still coming. So this is the ideal structure that is still unfolding here that we talked about yesterday as well. The problem is there's different ways how we can get there. So the first idea would be that the wave 2 was already in here, yeah, and that we have moved up in a wave 1 and we're now coming down in a wave 2. I don't really believe that anymore, and the reason for that is that the move down came in 5 waves, so it's very unlikely that this is a 1-2 setup, because the way this would need to work is as follows. Wave 1 up, oops, no. Wave 1 to the upside, in wave 3, yeah. Wave 2 down, wave 3 up, 4 down, 5 up. So we would have to have a small 5-wave structure unfolding now. The problem with that is, again, we came down in 5 waves here off the high yesterday. And if you look at the retracements, so we broke briefly below the 1250 level. Okay, not substantially. So it's actually fine, but the move up is not really impulsive yet. So it's okay to watch it and we need to consider it. And if we break above 1308, I will have to go with that scenario that we have a 1-2, another 1-2, and we're now rallying in 3. Target for this most imminent bullish scenario, which I however don't find very likely, target for the 3rd wave would be 1360. So that means very simply, if we break above 1308, in the very first instance, we should break to 1360. So irrespective of if I believe this is viable or not, or likely, we are now in the fortunate position that we have pulled back deep into support. We are very close to invalidation point. So a long trade can be entered with low risk. Not necessarily low risk in terms of it's gonna work out, but low risk in terms of you're basically risking a few dollars for what is it? $90 to $100, isn't it? Profit. Okay, risk to reward is quite attractive here at the moment. The other scenario is that wave 2 is not finished, that this is an A, B, C structure. We would then come down a bit more. That would become very, very likely if we drop below 1238. It would already become very likely if we break below the most recent swing low at 1248 and then 1238. And this is a scenario where we could say we're coming down in a C wave. I can calculate the target for that as well. First target, okay, that's not, that we already reached that. Key target here would be 1191, the 1.618 extension in a deep wave 2. Yeah. This is also, if I look from the other way around, if I look at the Fibonacci retracements of that wave 1, this is very close to the 1185 level that I told you before about, the 78.6% retrace, because if we drop below that 1238 level, we have one more chance to rally from 1185 in a wave 3, okay? And that is the point. When we come down in this wave C of 2, if we drop below that level, most likely we're going to break down completely. Yeah, so we've got these two scenarios where the first one is actually fairly unlikely that we rally straight away, but of course possible, but in my opinion fairly unlikely. This one is more likely that we come down in a C wave because we came down in 5 waves already. And the other scenario is of course that the overall uptrending structure is already over, that we're not getting all of this up there, and that we're completely going to break down from here. We will not know that until we break below 1185. Below 1185, this will become very unlikely, very likely that we're going to go down and probably retest the $1,000 level. Okay, so I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.